My audio's all right, yeah?
Yes, okay, here we go. We are live on YouTube, I believe. Better late than never with Alex Michael, Conspiracy Music Guru. How are you doing today?
All right, mate. Bit knackered. I mean, why? I mean, that's another story. I'm doing loads of building stuff around the house. I seem to spend my life either like building stuff in the garden or in the studio. I'm in garden mode at the moment, and it's weird that I always have these technical problems when I'm about to go. Like every single one, it's like something in the ether that's like, we're not going to allow this. It's like some kind of spiritual. I mean, call me a crazy conspiracy theorist if you like, but there's always something happens. We've been trying to figure this out for the last half hour, and it's just been a no-go. Hence, we're on.
It's been the craziest one ever because the public can hear me talk. I played a video, and you could hear the video, but you couldn't hear me talk. So then we couldn't do the interview. So that's why we're 20 minutes late. And I've never had anything like that before. That's the craziest one ever.
It's weird. It's a conspiracy. Everything's a conspiracy, mate. You know this.
Yeah, I've had so many times sitting here, and that kind of thing's been happening when you're wanting to talk to somebody and you're trying to figure out, and your palms are dead sweaty, and it's just like, what is going on? I do think we are. Well, Archaics kind of talks about kind of like this is a simulation, and simulacrum kind of is controlling everything. So there's people starting to rise too high and bring other people with them. They don't want the other ones waking it up. It's all right for one going and creating a reality. The system will allow that. But if you're trying to mass wake others, that's where resistance will come in.
Yeah, I think there's some kind of control mechanism that we don't see. It's really weird, particularly when I have big interviews as well. Like the one just before I did Jim Brewer, like which was probably one of my biggest interviews. It's like every fucking thing that could have gone wrong went wrong. It's like there's something in the unseen that is suppressing this kind of info. And I don't see it just with my interviews, which I rarely do. But there's always with every. I mean, we're supposed to be in a technological age, right, where we can beam back 4K video from Mars, right? And we're having this kind of shit. It's weird. It's something I can't explain, but I do detect a little manipulation there sometimes because it's just too frequent an event for it to be coincidence. So I don't know what that is, but it's happening.
Well, things like when we post videos, I think we don't get the organic reach that we probably should do, and other people seem to get. You know what I mean? There's certain people I believe they've got agents on people. If you've got any kind of voice, especially if you start to get a following, like I was getting quite a few hundred people every night, and his Facebook was shooting the shit during the COVID, and then basically it just started to tail off, and then got hacked, and basically I couldn't get my profile back. I lost 7,000 followers and stuff, and it's just like, okay, he's getting too popular, and then Vimeo took 10,500 videos off me, and it's just like, oh well, fucking what's the point?
Yeah, they've got a very good way of kicking you in the bollocks and demoralizing you, haven't they? They do that very well. And I've been so demoralized over the last couple of years. Like, what's the point? What's the point? Because I'm not reaching anyone. My stuff's getting shadow banned. It's being suppressed. It's enough to make you give up. But because that's what they want, I'm kind of going, no, I won't fucking. I'm going to fucking. Do you know what I mean? But trying to get people off of like YouTube and Facebook is like pulling teeth. Trying to get them to your own private platform, that's really, really difficult. So I don't know what the answer is. I've been doing this game for about 7 years now, musically, trying to express myself and trying to get some bullet points across regarding truth and consciousness. I've been trying to do that for like 7 or 8 years now. And I really want to make a living out of it. And even me with my 77,000 subscribers, which sounds like a lot, but when you put a video out, you get 2,000 or 3,000 views. And I've got a merch range, I've got children's books, and I'm monetizing and all of that. Even I can't fucking make a living out of this. I'm still like, I've now had to put out an advert for my Patreon, trying to get people to support me over there. So someone who's been doing this for 7 years and has got a bunch of merch and a bunch of CDs and children's, and even I'm looking at the finances, going, I fucking can't justify making a living out of this because it's just not bringing in the dough. So like I'm thinking, like, shall I go back to the ringtones? And I'm having chats with the missus, like, we need to go back doing ringtones and stuff like that. I could do a lot of things, but my heart's not in that. My heart's in this truth game. I want to, I've got a purpose now, I feel it. But when you're being continually kicked in the bollocks in terms of censorship, it's really fucking hard, like it's really fucking hard. So I don't know what the answer is, mate. I don't know what the answer is.
Well, I totally feel you 100% on that. You put so much, blood, sweat, and tears into your personal website, and as you say, the level of music you've been putting out there, when you hear all the shit that's in the charts and everything, you're putting conscious, awakening music, and now the healing music with the true solfeggio, it's incredibly high standard, and you deserve, at least to be making an average living out of it, if not a lot more.
That's all I want. All I want is the bills. That's all I want. I don't want to Porsche. I'm not materialistic. I don't buy clothes. I don't go on holiday. I've got no hobbies really. My music is my hobby. So I'm not asking for, for rich money. I'm not asking for any of that. I just want to, make a couple of grand a month would be nice, right? That sees my bills, that sees everything, and I can go out for a meal at the weekend with a couple of grand a month would be lovely. But Conspiracy Music Guru, as a brand or whatever you want to call it, that I've been cracking the whip at for fucking 7 or 8 years now. It's like I can't even get towards half of that. So it's like, what do I do? So my biggest problem is exposure. It's like you can't get exposure on Facebook, you can't get exposure on YouTube, you can't get exposure anywhere. And doing your own website and getting people to go there is like pulling teeth. Like I said, it's just like, so what do you do? It's just like, I've got the skills and I've got a message and people are resonating with it, the ones that see it. So if I could get more exposure and a bigger audience, I could, change the world in my own little way, my own little musical way. That's what I just want, more eyes on what I'm doing, because I know the effect of what I'm doing is having quite a substantial impact, even a spiritual impact. So I've got this thing that can really help the world, is how I feel. And it's being fucking just like kicked constantly in the fucking bollocks. Like, fuck off. We don't want that in the Matrix. It's like Agent Smith, like quash, censor.
Yeah.
Like, oh, God.
I do actually think that's what we're up against. There is an interesting theory that there's a book, my girlfriend's reading it just now. It's called The Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And it's almost like the more you really want it and you think you deserve it and you're putting into it, it's like you're subconsciously saying, I've not got that, and you're pushing it further away from you almost. It's hard though, because you're putting that much time and effort. You just want to be able to, as you say, make a living from doing what you love. Yeah. And why is that such a hard thing?
Because we live in such an inverted world, right? What do they say? Like, no good deed goes unpunished, right? And it's just like the more good you do in the world. And I've been a victim of this. The more good you do, and they say like it's the law of attraction. If you just put out love, you'll get love back. If you put out good, if you're generous, you'll get generosity back. I don't fucking believe that anymore. I've tried that for years. I think that's a fucking false New Age doctrine. I think it's bullshit. So I don't know where I was going with that, but
well, you see a lot of evil succeeding in the world. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So where's the karma? Where's the karma there? Like the New Age movement will say, "Oh, karma. You get out, you get back what you put out, and all that." Where's the karma for these motherfuckers that are causing this absolute? How would you word it? I mean, depopulation. Oh, we got to be careful here, aren't we? Because we're on YouTube. But where's the karma? Where's the
justice?
The justice. Where is it? So that idea of karma, I don't see it playing out in the real world.
There's a guy who I've watched recently, a guy called Darius J. Wright, and he talks about, he does out-of-body experiences, and he says you become your full soul body and you can traverse the universe and see the halls of records and go in time and all this stuff. It's quite, and he trains people how to do it, and you hear their reports, so it's like quite more real when other people are saying the same thing. But he's saying that basically this karma is a lie, and basically it's just a result of consequences, and we're all here just playing different roles in this construct as a kind of game. And, our true selves exist outside of that. But in here, it's like, he says it's a construct that's going to end. And it's like end time's playing out right now. But go to his website to figure out more. But yeah, just on that point that karma, this is why these bad guys, it's almost like they're playing a role to wake people up, and we shouldn't really judge them, because in the past we've maybe all been these different characters and different lives and stuff. So I guess I'm trying to get to a point now where you just have to try and be happy with the work you're doing and live in the moment and put it out there with a good intent. And you're getting lots of great feedback now, especially with this healing music that's having a profound effect on people's lives. So it's almost like, I'm not telling you to be grateful, but you are changing lives, even one by one, and I listen, and you're healing people. So although that doesn't pay the bills, unfortunately, and people shoving, you know, vaccines into people seem to be multi-billionaires. So where is the justice again? But you know, when you die, you'll look back with in your life with, I wouldn't say pride because that's, you know, a sin or whatever, but you know, you'll say, yeah, I contributed, I left the world a better place. You know?
Exactly, and that's all I'm trying to do is leave this apartment in a better state than I found it. Then I can when I'm on my deathbed, I can go, you know, I gave it a fucking go. You know, I tried to make this world a better place in my own tiny little way. You know, and the music is having a profound effect. That I sent you the reviews page earlier. I don't know how many of those you got to read, but my God, I mean, the feedback of what you know, just by putting pure sine wave healing frequencies into like chilled music, the profound effect and spiritual effects that it's having just from people listening to it, actually immersing themselves in that music, which people don't do anymore. They always have music on in the background or in the car. They don't put a set of good headphones on, shut their eyes, immerse themselves in the music. And when you do that with the solfeggio stuff, with the healing frequencies that are there, you've seen the reviews, and it's really having like this really profound effect. It's like, oh, this is how music should be. It's the polar opposite of what the controllers want musically. So when I see those testimonials and I see that feedback, it's like, it's wonderful. And yeah, I am having an impact on some people, but I'm like, fuck, I've tapped into something that I don't quite understand, but it's having a positive effect. But now I really want that effect to go bigger, and I want more people to be healed. If you'd have said to me I'll be making healing music 10 years ago, I would have said you're fucking bonkers. But here we are, and this music is having a profound effect, but it's only reaching this amount of people. This is the frustrating thing, because like I want to, you know, I'm a musical humanitarian in a way, you know, or even like a musical doctor now. It seems like I'm healing people with this frequency stuff. It's like, wow, I'm actually doing something and contributing. Like, so I'm being like compressed into this tiny little corner of the internet. It's really, really frustrating for me, because I want this to reach a wider audience, and it's so difficult living in this inverted world that doesn't want healing; it only wants sickness. So it's driving me mad, man. But
well, when I was listening, I've not had the chance to, you know, properly immerse myself in it, but if any music was designed to be immersed, it was certainly this. It's not like you can enjoy it on one level, just playing it in the background, and yeah, it's nice. I was actually playing it, and occasionally just to get this like a release of something as I was like, oh, that's doing something to me, you know. And that was without consciously doing the full thing. But again, you can do that, but I think this is more designed for actual healing, where people put on these meditation tapes or whatever and they try and zone out. But as you say, with the frequencies here, if you look in the past with they had all the cathedrals and the bells and the resonance, it's like a sound healing that you're doing on people. That's why people are connecting with it, because I don't know if you want to explain all the science behind how you've layered the music and the frequencies that are in there and why it's not just normal music to people.
I mean, yeah. Let's just touch on the cathedrals first. Like the cathedrals to me are clearly healing places. I think when you start looking into the build aspects of those places, the Masons refer to these cathedrals and temples as frozen music. They call it. The reason they call it frozen music is because they're using harmonic ratios within the structure of the buildings. So they're like a harmonic ratio of 1 to 2, for instance, would be like the first ratio would be 1 for, say, 4, 3, 2 is the number one, the 1 ratio. And then the 2 would be a frequency that vibrates twice as fast as the first. So that would be a ratio of 1 to 2, harmonically speaking. They were putting these ratios into the cathedrals and into these temples. So they were literally designed around music. That's why the Masons refer to these buildings as frozen music. So if you've got like columns of 1 meter tall, then you do a 1 to 2 ratio and have a bunch of columns like 2 meters tall. And they were, you know, how it actually works, you know, because there's loads of different harmonic ratios, 2 to 3, 5 to 6, loads of different ratios. So they were building these buildings with these harmonic ratios. So they were designed with frequency in mind. They were designed with music in mind. So I do believe these were healing places. And I've seen a lot of these cathedrals with actual foot markers where you stand. Okay. So you can get into the acoustic sweet spot. Now, if you have the kind of amplification that a cathedral can produce, particularly with those organs, with those pipes, and you can imagine with an orchestra in there and voices and an orchestra, you would be able to get some kind of sympathetic resonance where the cathedral is literally resonating back. For instance, if I get a guitar and strum it, put it next to another guitar, well, the other guitar will sing back in a sympathetic, resonant way. So if you can, tune your voice to the cathedral, or tune the orchestra to the cathedral, or tune the organ to the cathedral, you're going to get this resonant, incredible healing frequency. And you stand in that acoustic sweet spot right in the center, probably under the dome, I would imagine. Then you're just going to get this, I don't know, transformative experience. I think probably spiritual, maybe even levitation. I mean, it's speculation station here at the moment, but I believe those places were a place of not worship, but a place of healing. So to go on to the other part of your question about, going into the science of what I'm doing frequency wise. I mean, I learned my frequency craft from a guy called Jamie Buturf. Jamie Buturff on YouTube. He's got a playlist called 432. And he will go into depths about why there's so much misinformation about solfeggio healing frequencies. It's like when you type in flat earth into Google, you're going to get globe propaganda. If you type in our vaccines healthy, you're going to get a bunch of big pharma propaganda. Same with solfeggio frequencies. You're going to get a bunch of frequency propaganda. Now, Jamie Buturf was saying these are the true solfeggio healing frequencies. He actually did a study as well in India, where they had like 20 or 30 different participants where they played these tones, and they all saw health effects, health improvements at the end of this study. So he was putting forward these particular frequencies, and these are the ones you want. Okay, I'll try it. So I embedded those frequencies into some sort of chilled guitar music and just put it out there as my own sort of scientific experiment. And you've seen the reviews, they're quite profound. So it's like, these have to be the real true solfeggio healing frequencies, which is why I call the albums True Solfeggio Volume 1, and I've just released Volume 2 about a month ago. And they're having it's like I'm sitting back and gauging the results and seeing, I don't ask for the feedback. I just get it. People send me messages. Wow, this happened. Wow, that happened. I burst into tears and blah, blah. So it's like I've tapped into something, thanks to Jamie Buturf. So they're basically pure sine wave frequencies. There are 3 frequencies in each song, and they're octaves. So you'll have like a low A, a mid A, and a high A as a pure wave sine wave frequency. It basically sounds like that. And then I build the song around that particular frequency. So the melody and the chord structure and the bridge and the chorus and everything sort of all works around that one frequency. So by the time you're listening to the song, you barely even know there's a frequency there. You're just enjoying the instrumental music of it all, but at the same time, evidently improving your health.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of people saying even things like arthritis and stuff like that are feeling a lot better, which is quite crazy. And yeah, these cathedrals, though, I mean, people have went into them and recorded like the silence of them and magnified, turned it up to the point where when they put it on a plate, the harmonic plate, the pattern it forms is the same as the windows, which have been probably filled in with these stained glass windows to make them look fancy, but actually initially they're probably didn't have the glass in them as part of the design for that particular healing frequency, whatever. You just wonder who built them, horse and carts and stuff like that, or previous eras and things. Certainly,
it's another civilization, isn't it? I mean, how recent that is? It could be a couple of 100 years ago. I don't know. The mud flood and everything wiping out simply, another epoch or whatever. I don't know. I don't really know the timeline and all of that. I think the timeline has been massively manipulated, but certainly there was a civilization that knew a lot fucking more than we do now in terms of healing and frequency and resonance and, these structures that have these harmonic ratios built into the structures. And so they were doing something like far beyond what we could even imagine now. So they were made. I think we're getting stupider, aren't we? It's evident. Stupider as we progress. We're devolving, aren't we?
It's unbelievable. I mean, you go on TikTok these days, you see some people, there's like 6,500 people watching some retard do something fucking stupid, and just like, what is humanity spending its time on.
That's the thing that frustrates me. Like we were saying before about how I'm struggling to get my music out there, and all of the quote unquote talent and abilities that I have to be able to do that. It gets no, I get some, viral stuff, but it really doesn't make a living. But if I was to stand in the garden and smash myself in the face with a fucking spade for 30 seconds, viral video, right?
Basically,
it's an easy 20 grand.
Yeah, why did I think of that? It's unbelievable. With regard to this solfeggio music, I mean, last time I spoke to you, just put out the album Black Sheep, so that was all heavy rock and stuff. And then it takes about 6 months for you to go in and attack this. What's made you say, right, I'm going to go into the dungeon to do another one of these? Did you get just a calling to do it, or was it people kind of saying that they enjoyed the first ones and you felt like it was something to...
A bit of both, really. Yeah, it's a few reasons, really. A lot of people were saying, like, make another one. And I'm like, oh, fucking hell, man. Do you have any idea how much it takes to make an album? Like, I'm one guy, even getting a whole band into the studio and making a CD, an album can take, a year. I'm just one dude doing all of the composition, all of the instruments, and just everything. So it's like when people go, make another album, I'm like, oh, all right. But I saw that what one of the things that really spurred me was the feedback of the first. Yeah. And so I thought, well, why not? And I started once you start messing around with one song and it sounds great, you're like, oh, this is brilliant. And I'm so proud of this one song. I'm like, oh, I've got to make another one. And then you get the bug, and then you're kind of like, at that point, you're obsessed. It's like every morning, get up in the studio. Every morning, like, I want to make that guitar sound better. I've got a better idea for that chorus. And like, you just become obsessed. It becomes your whole life for 6 months. Which
is what you need to be able to do it. And then this is why you need the support. And you see some major label, like I watched a documentary on Netflix the other night there about the guy who created the Backstreet Boys and then NSYNC, but he was like a majorly dodgy guy, and he was getting people to invest in him and thinking that was their life savings was going to pay off, but it was actually just ripping them off. That's how. But he just paid the money, and Backstreet Boys, taught them how to dance and taught them everything. They think they're the stars, but they were just totally molded and then put out there, and then they're huge, and just because he's got connections. On 9/11, he was allowed to fly a plane with the Backstreet Boys, and like 2 days after, when the whole fucking world was shut down, he had that kind of power because he was friends with George W. Bush, and he got a flight for the Backstreet Boys 2 days after 9/11. So you need something like that on your side. But
I got no contacts though, man. I've got no contacts in that world, and I wouldn't want them anyway. But I mean, show me a band that isn't fucking just like manufactured. Show me a band or an artist that actually plays instruments and writes their own stuff. Because as you know, you've had Mike Williams on many times. Yeah. We know that even the Beatles didn't even write their own stuff. They had their own writers, to progress, certain agendas.
Yeah.
So you look at the music industry now, there's no one, it's just idolatry at that point. You're just looking up to a front man who has this team behind them of producers and sound engineers and session musicians. That's where the talent is. But you're all idolizing fucking Robbie Williams or whatever. And probably, we know he didn't write any of his songs. And the one that he did write was an absolute flop. So it just goes to show. And then you've got guys like me who compose, who write, who do every aspect of the music, who produce and mix and master and playing all these instruments, doing all the video editing and everything. And no one fucking knows about me. It's like, fucking hell, man.
I have to say, I watched the video of Space Cunt, which is you got together with Steve Faulkner from Space Busters. He's a cool guy. And he visited you down there in Spain. And you've came up with Space Cunt together. And the video editing, though, was incredible for that. You've obviously spent a lot of time getting to grips with that as well.
Yeah, thanks, man. That was it's so weird when you put out True Solfeggio, which is like all this kind of healing, and then you go Space Cunt straight afterwards. Like people are going, where did that come from? You can't do that. Someone on my YouTube channel said, you can't go from True Solfeggio to Space Cunt. You can't do that. I said, yes, I can. I can express myself in any way I see fit. If I'm feeling angry, I'll make an angry song. If I'm feeling chilled, I make a chill talk. I can express myself, and that could be in a myriad of ways. So yeah, Steve is an absolute legend. And when I first heard him on Globebusters and that, I just loved his approach to this clown world. He just sees it for what it is. He just laughs at it, and I really like that. And I happened to message him years ago. I said, I'd love to have a beer with you, man. Anyway, fast forward 3 or 4 years. I'm coming to see you, man.
I believe it's his birthday today.
Huh?
I believe it's his birthday today.
It is, yeah, it is, yeah. 53, I think he is. Yeah, I'll tell you what, dude. You think the Scottish can drink? Fuck me, that man can drink. Wow. So for 4 days he spent here, we did drink a lot, and we came up with the most. I don't know who came up with space cunt. I think we were just around the table drinking cognac, and somebody came up with the idea of sex bomb space cunt. It wasn't my idea, but it just evolved, and we fell about laughing when the idea came, and it was too good not to put into video. And we just started writing line for line for line for line, and it just got funnier. And you know them drunken sessions where it's just so funny. And I was kind of pissed off at the end of it because I thought, this is so good. I've got to make a bloody video for this now. They go, yeah, you got, and it takes bloody weeks or if not months to make a video. But I know it's crude, and I know it uses the word cunt so many times, but I don't think there's such thing as good words and bad words. I think there are words and good and bad.
Oh, tell me about it, mate. Honestly, I've just been barred from fucking everywhere for trying to do a joke and it quotes a song title, Sly and the Family Stone song title, "Don't Call Me Nigger, Whitey." Right. But I've been barred and fucking ostracized and fucking.
Yeah, this is the problem.
And then I've tried to do a joke, and when I said, "Oh, this guy told me I couldn't say the N-word," I never said the actual N-word, and I got barred for just saying the N-word.
This is the problem when you're doing gigs in the Matrix. The Matrix won't allow that because the Matrix have told them that there are bad words, and this N-word is a bad word.
Fucking mental. And they're all calling me a cunt, but they can't say, they put an asterisk, C asterisk NT. And basically, I'm a see you next Tuesday as well, and all this kind of stuff. It's like, well, the word's cunt. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Do you remember when we used to have comedians? Do you remember when comedians, like in the 70s, like Bernard Manning? Do you remember Bernard Manning?
Yeah.
Like he would like take the piss out of any colour, any race, and it's okay because they're fucking words. Whatever happened to sticks and stones will break my bones and nails.
These jokes were designed to kind of relieve the tension. There was a lot of the start of the import of the races into Britain, you know, and he was deemed a racist, but he would do jokes like this is one of my favourite ones. Like, you know, I think everyone should get together. I think all the Pakistanis, Indians, you know, Americans, Italians, French should all get together and hate the fucking Irish, you know.
But this whole thing of offence, like being offended by a word, that every man is turning into a fucking pussy, right?
Oh, it's unbelievable. Gimps.
There's no fucking men anymore. So like you say something, they go, "I'm offended," and then they'll give you like a paragraph as to why they're offended. I couldn't give a fuck. Why don't you be a man? Why don't you be a man and just accept it's just a word? You know, people could take the piss out of me. I've got very, very thick skin. You have to be on the internet as a flat earther, for fuck's sake. I couldn't give a fuck. So I retain the right to actually, you know, make fun of you. And if you get offended, then this is
get
the
cancelled.
problem.
Honestly, I'm just totally barred and just totally ostracised. I've actually given up to the point where I can only do gigs at uncensored things. But then you're preaching to the converted. I went to Aberdeen and the guy put me on with a headline as a doctor. Had a room full of NHS nurses, but still done my convid material. Couldn't stop myself because I'm trying to be myself and I'm trying to give them myself as honest as I can. And they're the people that need to hear it. But I got barred and I never got let back the second night because I said the N-word and basically I joked about fucking convid. So that was the end of that.
Jesus.
And then I had other comedians stopping my set, 2 comedians, not the guy who was running the gig, and says, I said the N-word and went, "That's enough, get off," basically. And they threw me off stage. And then he started lecturing the audience, and we don't like he never said it, but he was alluding to, or we don't like that, do we? And the audience were like, "No, we don't like that." I was like, this is fucking bananas.
See what I mean? But there are words. This is what people don't understand. There's not good words and bad words. It's only words. Like the black community will use that word like as in a positive way. It's my nigga. Yeah, this way. You want to listen to my nigga, my nigga. It's my nigga, my nigga, my nigga all the time. But when you use it, it's all of a sudden it's bad. It's fucking ridiculous.
Here's the thing. The guy that stopped me in Aberdeen, the guy who never let me back the second night because I said the N-word, basically, there's this other comedian, Steve Hughes, you probably know him.
Yeah.
was touring, and I've interviewed him, and I met him in Glasgow. And his joke is, he says nigger on stage, and he says basically he was with Reginald D. Hunter, and he started singing all these rap songs, and then the other black guys look at him and says, that's our word, you can't say that. And the joke is, really, I think you'll find that's our word.
True.
But
why can't
again,
we have a laugh at it? That's funny. That's funny. Why can't we have a laugh about it? We should be able to say what the fuck we want.
but it's all right for him to say it because he's made his name, he's got his reputation. But if you're down the bottom or wherever, and you just try to do it,
you can't say that.
Clamp it down. You don't like that now. We don't want George Carlin or that anymore. We want fucking somebody talking about fucking cat food or some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or rainbow trans for kids and all that.
Oh God, aye.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, it's going back to the space cunt thing. When we first came out with that, I was like, I can't put this online. I can't put this online because it says cunt 64 times. And then I stopped and thought, why can't I? Why am I censoring myself here? And I put enough warnings to say if you're offended by there's scenes of explicit nature, it says the word cunt like 64 times. And so you were warned several times. But there will still be actually out of the 600 comments that I've had so far, I've only had to delete like 4 because they were like, you need to be saved. You need to find Jesus Christ. Blah. From the Christian community, they are the most judgmental. I'm not tarring you all with the same brush, Christians. I've got some great Christian friends. In fact, my buddy Gordo is a very good friend of mine. Lives 10 minutes up the road. Good friend of mine. So I'm just saying that there are some very judgmental people in that Christian community and they're the ones I had to ban because they were going, how dare you can't say this? You will burn in hell for all eternity. It's like, it's just a fucking word, bro.
Some guy came on I posted a picture of me with Steve Hughes and I mentioned kind of thing what had been happening and these guys took offense and started sharing me and saying, look what he's doing. He's a cunt for doing this and everything. But basically, I was going to say something. There was one comment that says, blah, blah, this one nigger, only racists use it, so if you're a bad person if you use it. And I just said it was a fucking stupid comment. I just said, I'm deleting it. And then these guys, look at him, he's a free speech warrior deleting comments. I'm like, it's my fucking page. It's a fucking stupid comment. He's insinuating I'm an idiot for using it, so get him to fuck.
I mean, at the end of the day, if someone comes into my house and starts disrespecting me and telling me what I can say and what I can't say, they're going to be shown the fucking door. And it's the same with my YouTube channel. You start saying, you can't say that, you can't say that, you can't. Yeah, I fucking can. Fuck off. It's really that simple. So I'm kind of at the stage now where I'm no fucks given. And you can kind of do that on the internet to a certain extent. What you're doing, a little bit more difficult when you're in front of a live audience. You know what I mean? So that is a lot more difficult. I don't think, you're going to fare well doing that kind of conscious comedy. I don't think it served you well so far, has it?
No, I've given up. I've basically given up. There's no happening. So I'm going to, I talked to you a bit in the chat a couple of nights ago about this. And I know you're trying to think about going back into the jingle world. But I was explaining to you, I've got all these lyrics and poems that nobody really wants to read or that. But my girlfriend discovered this app, puts these lyrics in, and it produces these songs. Now, I'm not saying they're as good as human doing songs and that kind of thing.
Not yet.
But some of them, honestly, it's like I'm playing them every day, and I'm getting really into them. I was like, this is good sing along tune. It's because it's my words. It's like obviously it means something more to me, but I'm really enjoying them. And it pops out in 5 minutes, and it's just like fucking hell. So your jingle world, people can just like give me a type of jingle, and it's doing musicians, not just the jingle world. I guess fuck knows what and how long they've had this technology to create these kind of music.
Well, that's the dark side of AI, isn't it? What AI is doing is it is crushing the creative like me. And why come to me to make a radio jingle where I can charge you $500 or whatever? When you can get AI to do it in 5 minutes by typing in a few prompts. Same with artists as well. Why pay an artist $2,000 for like a bespoke, I don't know, art picture of your wife or your dog or something? You can type it into AI and get a fucking 4K beautiful artistic rendition of your dog. So I think there's a dark side to AI. It is crushing the whole creative community, like myself and artists. But AI it's not going away, is it? Let's be honest. So I think if we're going to use AI, then let's use it for activism. Use it for conscious music, I know it's not great at the moment. It's a bit soulless AI music, but it's pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of people that will have no idea that it's AI. I can tell it from an instant, but it's going to get better. I mean, look where AI was like a couple of years ago. Look where it is now. So where's it going to be in 5 years? It's going to be indistinguishable from actual real artists. So I think if people want to use AI, go for it, but please use it for the right reasons.
Well, basically, I can't get a band together. I'm not capable of putting that music. So to me, it's a way of showcasing my poems in a different way, and maybe getting people into my writing. And if I can, if I can write more, again, I've got a lot of poems that do touch on conspiracy or topical things. So when I put them into there, all of a sudden there's a song about it, so you can use it to teach people. So something I'm thinking about doing, starting to pick a topic, studying it, writing a poem about it, and then next thing you've got a rap version of it, or whatever. And yeah. So it's, I mean, I wasn't a big fan of AI, but basically it's here, and it's a way for me to do that. Maybe through that I'll meet a musician or people like my lyrics, and I'll be able to do something in the real world, But it's quite fun, and I'm quite. When you get one back, it's like fucking your mind is blown. Like every time, it's like fucking. How does it do that? It's crazy.
it's really clever stuff, and like I say, where it's going to be in a few years' time is frightening, really. And like, almost a part of me was like, right, I want to get back into the studio. I want to write a new album. Shall I use AI to, like, help me with that? And then I thought, no, what are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? You're cheating. If I ever use AI for lyrical content or for music content, I can never ever call it my own. Can never say, it was all came from all of my previous 6 albums. All came from me. There's a couple of samples there, but it's all me, and I'm proud of that. But that's not the way of the future, I'm afraid. People are going to be making music like it's just, and it's all free. That's the it's like, it's
apparently there's somebody trying to sue. I think your interview with what do you call it, Crow, they were saying some people are trying to sue now for AI companies to be able to do this, because they're essentially ripping off all this work from the past 70 years or whatever.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's how AI gets its information. It scans all of the work, all of the musical works of every fucking band you could ever think of, understands, and learns from, what is a chorus, what is a verse, what is a bridge, understands vocal, understands the melody, and all of it's learning all of its stuff from previous music. So it's kind of plagiarizing in a way, and then formatting its own like digital version of that stuff. So watch this space. I do believe that they are currently Sumo. Is it Suno? Suno, yeah. I'm going through a lawsuit at the moment. So there's going to be some backlash, but I don't know. I don't know where that's going, but it's a frightening thing. This AI music is like, because everyone now is a fucking musician. Everyone can produce a song without having any talent, without having learned that fucking skill. It's like clicking your fingers at building a house, like with no building skills. It's like it's the weirdest thing, but I don't know. I don't know where that's going to leave me in this whole equation.
Yep, a lot of people these days are maybe starting to learn the guitar and get into the computer, and just people like being on a computer. So now they're making music with beats and stuff, but it's just more like programming, like because it's done visually. So you're almost like a thing just doing a visual thing. You do need some music ability, but it's becoming a lot easier.
Oh, hell of a lot. Yeah. I mean, it's becoming very, very easy for someone with no ear, with no musical ability whatsoever, no songwriting ability, just to create a great song. And I think that's a shame, because it's like I'm over here going, "What about me?" What?
Yeah. Fuck knows where it's all going. Do you think there's I don't know, I've got some different opinions. In the past, I was like trying to wake people up and, we can save this world. But now I'm thinking it's like it's playing out how it's supposed to play out. And it's like end times is going to happen. I think there's like Nibiru or whatever is going to come back, and they're already going to the deep underground military bases and hide, and we're going to get left on the surface. And all the power is going to go in Mad Max scenario type situation. That's what I see.
I try not to. I mean, I was in that stage at one point, like, oh my god, the world's going to shit. There's going to be food shortages, blah blah blah, and that's why I went into the self-sufficiency mode. I started growing loads of stuff around the house, and like fucking, I'm smarter than these cunts. I'm going to be completely self-sufficient, blah blah blah. But then I realised that whole self-sufficiency is a bit of a psyop. Really, you can never. A couple, 2 people, me and my wife here only. You can't be self-sufficient unless you dedicate every single day to working in the garden. You need a community to be self-sufficient. And when you're in that self-sufficient mode, you're like self. I've got my food. Fuck you. I'm growing this for myself. It's kind of like, it's a bit, I feel a bit of a psyop in that whole self-sufficiency. So I'm now like, hold on, I live in a world of abundance. I can walk out of my house and I can see lemon trees, orange trees, olive trees. There's just an abundance. There's a market down there. It's an abundance of food there. It's like, why am I in this fear mindset? I've got to get, just in case the world goes to shit. I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. So I've actually, held back on the growing in the garden now. And I'm like, there's a fucking market there where I can buy it. That whole food shortage and everyone's got to be self-sufficient. I'm seeing that as a bit of a psyop now.
Because when the day if things go tits up, there'll be wandering gangs and your food will get fucking stolen pretty quickly.
You're more of a target then, aren't you, right?
So, aye.
Yeah, so I'm kind of falling out of that world now, and I did it, and I've learned a tremendous amount about irrigation and companion planting, and no, I'm coming out of that mode now. It's like, I'm just, if the world goes to, I don't think it will. I think it's all fear. I think the world seems to be geared to want my fear. So I don't fear it anymore. This is why Space Cunt is like, fuck it. Let's just have a laugh with it. I want to do more comedic stuff and just laugh at this clown world instead of telling people to go self-sufficient. You've got to stock food just in case there's a nuclear. We know nuclear weapons are bullshit, but the fear that's all just thrown at us, a self-sufficient, store food just in case there's a fucking mass ejection from the sun and it could wipe out the entire grid and all the internet goes. And I used to worry about that. Now I'm like, fuck it. I'm just laughing at the circus and just enjoying it in a way, because when the shit goes down, I'm going to be laughing and probably drunk.
Well, to be honest, that's the kind of, in the past I would research stuff, but I've never been one to join. I turn up at some protest meetings if I'm invited and I talk and say what I've got to say or do a poem or a song or something, but I don't join and go fight for freedom and all this kind of stuff, because you're just begging your masters for permission to do whatever, and I don't watch a lot of news and stuff because it's all horse shit anyway, so again, it's just that middle path, isn't it? And just focus on your own thing. I mean, you've got your studio and everything there, you can immerse yourself in your own wee world. It'd be nice again if you got rewarded for it, but it's just difficult, when everyone else is a television watching news believer, trying to fucking, there's some conversations happen or around you and you just want to tell them a different side of it, but you just know you're in for a world of hurt.
We are both like fish out of water, aren't we? Like wherever we go and we try and express ourselves, we're fucking, I don't know, we've got the lurgy, we've got rabies or something. It's just like we will never be accepted in our current time. I don't think we'll ever be accepted. And even though we're so passionate and we just want to change the world and we want to enlighten people and help them. That's why we're doing what we're doing. We want to help people to see what we see. But you go out there, like I say, you get kick in the bollocks. It's like no good deed goes unpunished. And it's just like, fuck, what did I sign up for this? I fucking... What kind of prick am I if I sign up for it? I don't know. I have many, many questions, mate, still.
I was talking to a lady who I've interviewed a few times. In fact, she's making a documentary and I'm going to be in it. She made the movie Terrain. Her name's Marcy. And she was just saying about people like us who, or kind of this type of soul, to think we come from somewhere else, with a mission here to kind of, because we're kind of see things differently and to wake up others, because it does seem like, as you say, we're in a world, was it Stranger in a Strange Land, was that book, and there's a lot of time I spend doing all this stuff for no reward whatsoever, and you ask yourself, why am I doing this? But if something keeps you driving you on, like you probably quit and started and picked up again, and many times now you've finished this True Solfeggio, do you have any idea what you're going to do next? Are you thinking, I need to survive? Are you going to push on with your creativity and fully believe in it? Because sometimes I think even just the power of belief, the universe, we don't realize the power we've got working with the universe and how things can happen if you give it the space. But then if you just fall back into the fear mode and start jingling, then you might have that security, but your time's not, you're not spending your time doing what you want. So there's a frustration there. I guess it's hard to find that balance.
Yeah. I mean, I'm very stubborn, which is good, really. I'm very It's like these bastards won't get me down. I'm gonna keep doing it, and I'm gonna keep doing it. I'll probably concentrate. See, this, I don't know. My music has always been like an evolution of what I'm thinking. It's like my story, really. Like the Flat Earth Man being the first album, me waking up to the whole satellite and gravity and moon landing hoax. I put that all in an album, and it's like it's my way of expressing myself, really. So what happens tomorrow? If I'm angry, I might write an angry song. If I'm, the solfeggio stuff definitely seems to be having quite a profound impact. And that, in terms of sales, if you want to, talk about it in business terms, in terms of sales, the solfeggio albums are the ones that sell the most because it knows no language barrier. So someone in China can hear it and still enjoy it. So maybe I'll concentrate on the solfeggio stuff because that really is, because I've done enough albums now. I've done enough songs to wake a fucking dead horse. I've done the wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Can't you see what's going on kind of songs? I've done that for 7 years. Why carry on like, flogging a dead horse in a way? So, my back catalogue should be enough to at least get you questioning about things. Now, maybe it's now time for more healing music. Maybe it's time now for more solutions-based music, to get, songs about, stop acquiescing, stop, perceiving this authority, stop, I don't know. I mean, I'm just waiting for my next creative burst at the moment, but I don't know what the next album will be, but I do love the fact that the healing music is literally healing people. But I am so stubborn that I won't give up. And it's kind of what I'm built to do, apparently. So I shall continue doing it. I would love, if there's anyone out there listening to this, if anyone can give me any more exposure, then please let me know. But it's very hard when you're using the free platforms like YouTube and Facebook, when they, like I say, continually kicking you in the nuts. So what comes next, I don't know, but I'll keep on doing it for sure.
Have you ever thought about doing a podcast? Because people do kind of gain traction with them if you do a regular one.
Yeah, I've thought about it, but I don't know if I want to commit to that, and I'm not really a talking head. I'm not a great host. I'm quite the introvert, really. I don't do a lot of interviews because of that. I get really nervous and stuff. I'm better at expressing myself through my music. The idea of being a podcast host kind of terrifies me in a way. Maybe behind the scenes, doing the audio and visuals, maybe, I don't know, but committing myself to something like that. I've never been good at commitment. I have to be at this place at this time to do this show. I don't want to live like that. I want to be like, I want to wake up and go, how do I feel today? What can I, how, do I want to, do something, in the garden, or do I want to get in the studio, or, I like that freedom. I think,
to me, that's how the world should be. We should all be living like that in the moment, and basically working together to provide food for the community. Everyone works together, knows each other. We've not got any. It's the legal world, bullshit that's been placed on top of us. Yeah. And the birth certificate and all the system in place that's basically God's living in a false reality. So people are doing shit for money that they don't really want to do. I had an argument with a fucking parking inspector the other day because the coin thing wasn't working. So I was saying, I've got coins. And he was saying, you can pay 2 other ways. I was like, I've not got those ways to pay. I did, but I was trying to argue, Ken. I've got tender. He said, I'm going to write you a ticket in 5 minutes. In fact, I was going to complain about him because I don't know if you're allowed to do that. You're allowed 15 minutes, I think. But anyway, then he started saying, you're one of them. And I was like, you're fucking one of them. And he's like, I bet you're a fat earth believer. I bet you believe you didn't go to the moon and all this kind of stuff. And, like that. And I was fucking screaming back at him. But it's just like, I was like, you live your life in this fucking box. And he's like,
it's an Agent Smith. You know the Agent Smith effect, right? That's what we're dealing with. When we walk out of our doors and we deal with these people, we're dealing with the agents of the fucking state.
And I'm like, okay, I came away for it after. Like, why did I get involved in that? I was going nowhere, you know what I mean?
Oh, God. It's like the first rule of Flat Club. You don't talk about Flat Club, right? It's like I've learned to keep, I keep stum as much as I can, but because of the passion that I have, it's very hard not to let it out sometimes. You know, like if I'm in a restaurant and the waitress comes out, we're by the sea because I live by the coast. And I'll point at the horizon and go, you know, the earth is flat, right? And actually, the waitress said to me, she went, I've heard that. I was like, that's cool. So I can't resist it sometimes, but actually engaging with the Matrix on a daily basis, no. This is why I've become a bit more of a recluse, really. And so I spend a lot of time in here. And when I first came to Spain, I wanted to integrate, and I started learning the language, and I had a year's worth of Spanish. Great, but then I realized that society was not a place I wanted to integrate into. The more you learn, it's just like, it's like stepping out into this weird fucking world that I don't understand. And not only that, that weird fucking world doesn't understand me. It's like so bizarre. So I'm totally with you, bro. I'm totally with you.
Yeah, your microphone got a bit more quiet there. I don't know if it's showing away from you.
1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. I'll do it. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. How's that? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I lived in Turkey for 12 years, and it is a different world, I found it very hard because your brain works one way and their brain works another way. You know what I mean? And it's just that idea of culture. My son, he grew up in Turkey and he came to Scotland, and I think he found it quite difficult fitting into this culture, because, again, are we designed to move around the earth and go into these other cultures that much? We're probably better sticking with our own, and obviously there's the agenda to mix things up and stir up race wars, which we're getting ready for.
Yeah, it continues, doesn't it? I can't imagine a bloke like you, like with your fair skin, faring well in Turkey. That's quite funny.
Yeah, I showed you a picture of the burn. That was just like a couple of hours out on the beach without sun cream. So I wasn't one for lying on the beach. I'd go to the beach, have a swim for 5 minutes, come out, dry off for 2 minutes, put it on it, get out of here, too hot.
Yeah.
In the winter.
At the moment in Spain, it's like crazy. It's been like last couple of weeks, it's been like 45, like in the sun, even close to 50 in the sun. In the shade, about 35. It's ridiculous. But I'm out there in the garden working in it. I love it. I love a good sweat and that. But my missus is quite fair skinned like you. She fucking hates it. She actually hates July and August. So I want to go back to the UK. Like, she absolutely fucking hates it, but she grins and bears it. But yeah, I mean, maybe we're better amongst our own fucking. I think the reason I moved to Spain is like I'm like quite dark skinned anyway. I never felt like the UK was right for me. I felt like I was born in the wrong country. It just felt weird, and there was no sunshine, and I felt starved of sunshine. And when we came to Spain, it was like, oh my God, it's like sunny here all the time. I want to move here. So yeah, I don't know, but we do keep ourselves to ourselves. But we've got like, a handful of friends that are awake and aware, and we meet up once every couple of weeks, maybe once a month, and that's all I need, to have them conscious conversations with people in real time, and. So I've got a good life. I'm very, very, very blessed. So, but yeah, the society is a struggle for me when I go out there in the real world. It's like you're back in the Matrix.
Which part of Spain are you in?
Northern Alicante. It's beautiful here. It's really, really beautiful. It's the part. They call it the Pearl of the Costa Blanca. It's gorgeous. It really is gorgeous. I'm like 5 minutes away from like really lovely tapas restaurants and the coast. So you can deal with tyranny a little bit better when the sun's shining. You can't escape it. People want to move to here, and I've got a friend who's like, I want to move to so and so because there's too many chemtrails. I'm like, you can't escape it. If you want to get rid of chemtrails, then do some fucking cloudbusters and shit like that in your garden. But trying to run away from the tyrannies everywhere, man. I think if you pay attention, it will ultimately control you. So I'm trying not to pay too much attention to it. But yeah, I'm in my own little bubble here. I'm as blessed as I can be, man.
Are you a Spanish resident?
No. Would I fuck? No. No, I don't want to. I shouldn't say too much about this online, but I don't really want to be, integrating into any kind of system. Yeah. As soon as you become resident, you then become an employee of that corporation, and they're susceptible to tax and all these kinds of things. So, so what we currently are doing at the moment, the wife and I, we are a nomad visa. We're on a nomad visa, so we're like, not resident, but legally here. That's got like a 5-year limit to it. So what happens after 5 years, I don't know, but we'll see. But no, I certainly don't want to be resident of it. I want to be free. You know, residency is to me is like you know you have to sign a contract with the state. Yeah, that's what residency, like citizenship, is the same thing. You know, so anytime someone says, "Here, would you like to sign this document and be like resident?" Just resident, anything like that, anything with corporations or admiralty law attached to it, I kind of like run a fucking mile. You know.
Because that's what I was in Turkey and didn't become a citizen. I was in a residence permit, but I didn't realise there was this other way to do it, you know. So that sounds quite interesting. Nomad visa.
Nomad visa, yeah. So basically,
if it runs out in 5 years, then surely it's the same kind of concept.
Yeah, you can renew it after 5 years, or you can become a resident after 5 years, or it just gives you the freedom to travel around without being resident, without being an employee of a particular corporation.
And they're guaranteed to renew it, or can they say after 5 years, no, we're not renewing it?
I'm not quite sure about it. I think after 5 years, you either have to go back to your country of residence or become a resident of the country you're in. I'm not sure how that works, but we'll figure that out in about 5 years. We've basically just got that, so it gives us the freedom to sort of go back and forth because. You know, we were kind of, you know, illegal in a way, and being here is not a problem. It's going back and then coming back in is a problem. So she was a bit worried about that because she wanted to go. She likes to go back and see her parents and that. So we went with the visa in the end. But so it gives us a little bit more, you know, a little bit more room to play with. But it's a shame that you have to fucking bark up these trees, right? It's a shame you have to adhere to these fucking protocols, right? Yeah. Why can't I just be free to go to Italy if I want, or France, without some prick in a uniform going, hold on, you've been here for too long. These are imaginary borders anyway. Yeah. But try and explain that to a guy with a fucking costume and a head load of indoctrination and rules and regulations and policies. Try and explain that to them. So this is why I don't travel.
Yeah, I hate all that stuff. Past the port and you've got to fucking jump through their bullshit. When they've got special passports to fucking go through the back door or whatever again. Yeah. And so again, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I think I'll let you go. Anything else you'd like to wrap up and let people know about what you're up to, or basically promote the True Solfeggio?
No, not really. I mean, I'm still doing my thing. I don't know what music's going to come out of me next, but it could be anything. It could be reggae, it could be rap. I'm just trying to express myself in you know what mood I'm in, really. But if anyone wants to know more about me, remember 3 words, which are Conspiracy Music Guru. So type conspiracymusicguru.com into your browser. You won't find me on Google, but it seems like my website has been blacklisted. Used to be on the first page when you type that in. Now I'm on the 3rd page, or sometimes 2nd page, depends. So you won't find me. So you have to type that directly into your browser, conspiracymusicguru.com, or go on YouTube, type Conspiracy Music Guru there. You'll find my videos and my channel, and it's got all my links there and everything. But basically, I'm just trying to put out some conscious stuff, and you know, I'm trying to heal the. I'm trying to heal the world, man. Heal the world. Better things.
You can make it better day. Let's start giving.
You for me every time. Sounds like Cartman there.
What do you think about the Stevie Wonder can see conspiracy?
Oh, he can see for fun. Of course he can. There's another character on the stage.
So many people have said, you know, Stevie Wonder was driving a car. They tell these stories, and I seen Stevie Wonder driving a car, and he waved to me. You know, it's just like
there's so much info out there that shows you can see. Like someone waves to him on stage, and he waves back. You're like, fuck off, you fucking see. Yeah, totally. Another character on the stage, my friend. That's all he is.
Yep, it's quite sad when you realise the world's a stage, and each of us must play our part.
Indeed, yeah. It's a bizarre way to look at the world, but I wouldn't change it for the world. I'd rather be on this side of the fence than, you know, having myocarditis, for instance. You know.
Aye, there's always that.
There's always that.
Some people have taken that, and I think again they're ill and they've got long COVID. Just like, have you not seen through this one yet? You know.
Next one's coming, bro. You wait for the old Mpox, mate. That's going to be great fun.
You're actually going to go for it.
It looks like it. I think they have the arrogance to try it. Why not? Why wouldn't you if you're a fucking sick
psychopath that wants to inject people with poison. Why wouldn't you do it again?
We've got enough takers the first time. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, even if the uptake is less, you're still going to go fuck it. Even if the uptake's 20% or 30%, you're still going to do it. Like, you know, you have to get into the mindset of these fucking.
Yeah, to me, it's crazy. I mean, they say it themselves. It's not the truth that wins. It's just the perception, you know, because people still believe you can catch a virus and et cetera, and vaccines are a real thing, or maybe just these ones are bad, but vaccines in general. It's like, can't you do any research for yourself whatsoever? Just the TV is God.
Yeah, television watching news believers, mate. And
Anyway, mate, I really appreciate all the great work you've done over the years, and you've made us laugh, you've made us think, and now you're healing people. So kudos to you for doing that, and I look forward to your next release. And all the best. ConspiracyMusicGuru.com. You can find you there, and people, please go to the Patreon as well. We've got a Patreon you can find from there, yeah, and support you there.
Patreon, and I've also got Buy Me a Coffee as well. If you go to YouTube and find my channel, in every video that I've done, there will be a bunch of links there if you feel like donated and help to support conscious music, you know, support what you like or it goes away, basically. But yeah, cheers, Billy. I appreciate your time, mate. Always a pleasure to speak to you, and till next time, bro.
Cool, we'll catch up. Cheers and out. Thanks,
Cheers,
folks. Bye-bye.